So here is your first look at a real and fake pair of the Nike Air Jordan 1 High Lost and Found. Can you tell any difference between these two? Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I have an updated comparison for you between two pairs of Nike Air Jordan 1 Lost and Found. So I've previously done this, but they've updated the fake batch, so I thought I'd redo it. So this is a comparison to help you if you're trying to purchase a retail pair. So the retail one is obviously on my right. Got these from, well, I got two pairs, so one from Foot Patrol and one from Sneakers. So this could be either of them, I don't actually remember. And this is the fake one on the left here. So it's just a comparison to help you if you're trying to purchase the retail one. So we'll get straight into the video. Hello, so I thought I'd just jump in here and tell you a quick thing about today's sponsor, IP Royal. So behind me, you can see I've got quite a lot of shoes. However, I actually managed to purchase these without a bot. But nowadays, that's almost impossible. And that's why IP Royal is here to help. Bring you a special coupon code for 50% off their Royal Residential Proxy. Residential proxies come from real devices with real ISP issued connections. If you use a proxy server, each retail store sees one process as an individual user. So it means you can keep checking out, and it'll be seen as multiple users, except it's just you. Bots use these proxies to hide their activity, so it means you can skip these annoying captures every time you check out. So if you want to try out their proxies, there's a link down below in the description for 50% off, and let's hope you can cop some more sneakers. But now we'll get right back into the comparison. So we're going to start with the two boxes, so I'll show you them side by side here. And you can see that the fake one is just a little bit more damaged on the top of the box lid. You can see it's been damaged in travel, whereas the retail one is in perfect condition. The box is immaculate. So we'll take a closer look at some of the details on the box. So what I would say is the fake one's replicated that worn out look on the box very well compared to the retail one. There pretty much is no difference between the two. What I would say is on the Nike logo itself, it does have a little splatters of orange on the end, and these are a little bit lighter on the fake box compared to the retail one, but other than that, they're incredibly close. So we'll now take a closer look at the label. So comparing the labels side by side, you can actually see it does come with two sales stickers on the side. This time, the fake one actually has these as stickers rather than it actually printed onto the box itself. So they've done a better job at that. However, the sale size tag is a little bit different. I'd say it's slightly smaller on the retail box and then slightly misplaced on the fake box, but those are only minor differences. And on the label itself, you can see the font and text size is actually slightly different. Where it says USA 10, Euro 44, you can see the font size is a little bit different. However, these are incredibly close. And this time, the fake one does not have the US price tag on the sides of the label, which is very interesting. But nobody really cares about the boxes, so we'll get straight into the shoes. So we'll unbox the fake one first. So the shoes come completely exposed, but they do have that receipt label on the top, which I'll also be comparing. So we'll open up the retail one. You can see the shoes are completely wrapped in the paper, but the receipt does actually come on top. So we'll take a closer look at this now. So taking a closer look at the two receipts that come with both pairs, you can see slight differences between the retail and fake. They have done a much better job than they did on the last pair of fakes that I got, but this one still has differences. So if you look at the overall text, where you can see the name at the top says Paul, you can see that this text is much thinner on the retail one compared to the fake one. And the overall text on the receipt itself is a lot thinner on the retail one compared to the fake one, where it's a lot bolder and thicker. You can see this at the bottom where it says received by, and the name is a lot thinner once again. But overall, the label is actually very similar from retail to fake, but there is minor differences between the two texts. So we'll unbox these and take a close look at the shoes. So a very interesting difference between the two pairs as I unbox them is the retail one obviously comes with that kind of like newspaper article paper on the inside, where the fake one doesn't. It just came with plain white paper, which is quite a big flaw, so maybe look out for that. So here is your first look at a real and fake pair of the Nike Air Jordan 1 High Lost and Found. Can you tell any difference between these two? So the first difference I'm going to point out is the toe box itself. So it's made up of this kind of white painted cracked leather on the toe box. However, from the close-up, you can see that the material is different between the retail and fake. So on the close-up, you can see that the fake one, the cracking is not as thick, and the overall feel doesn't feel exactly the same. It feels like a thicker paint cover on the retail one compared to the fake one, and maybe that's why it's cracking a lot more, but the appearance is very different from retail to fake. Also, if you take a look from above at this toe box area, you can see that the shape is different between the retail and fake. Classic fake one has that squared off toe box where it just looks a little bit chunky compared to the retail one, and it should be showing up clearly on the camera. If we take a look at the Nike Air label on the tongue, we can see difference here in sizing and placement of the text. Especially if I spin this upside down and take a look at the underside, you can see where it says made in China, fabrique in China. You can see that the text is slightly higher up on the fake one compared to the retail one. Going down to the toe box area again and looking at the stitching going around the toe box, we can see differences in how it is stitched. So if you compare them side by side, you can see the retail one, the stitching is very thin and widely spaced apart, whereas on the fake one, you can see it's used a much thicker thread and the stitching spaces are much tighter together. Spinning the shoe around to the back, and one of the noticeable features of this shoe is the cracked black leather at the top part of the heel. And if I compare them side by side, you can see they are very different. However, I have seen variations on retail pairs. The difference between this one is the fake one looks like it's covered in an almost glue, so it's slightly laminated, whereas the retail one is not laminated at all. It just looks like a bit of cracked leather. So there is a slight difference in the appearance. However, there have been variations between pairs, but it's just something that's noticeably different between these two. Taking a look at the inside of both of these pairs and taking a look at the Nike Swoosh, you can see that the placement of both is very different. So on the fake one, you can see that the swoosh is placed slightly lower down, so you can see the stitching across it goes a little bit higher, whereas on the retail one, you can see the stitching almost crosses just above the swoosh. So there's a difference in the angle and it has slight placement issues. Taking a look at the underside of the shoe, it's meant to have this kind of like chalk-like look to the bottom of the rubber. And once again, the fake one has got this slightly wrong with terms of how much they've used. It's a slightly less chalky look on the fake one compared to the retail one. As you can see, the retail one looks incredibly white on the bottom from the chalk, whereas on the fake one, it's just not the same. So it's slightly darker in a red color. Another difference that's really not noticeable on camera, these ones stink of glue. The fakes are so strong, the smell of glue is horrendous. Whereas the retail one smells like a normal Jordan, smells like a normal sneaker. It smells perfectly fine. Looking at the back of the shoe, you can see slight shape differences between the two pairs. And what I would say, the fake one is a lot taller at the heel compared to the retail one. The retail one is a lot shorter. However, these are both a UK 9, US 10, so they should be exactly the same. It's just a slight difference that you can see when holding them side by side. Opening up the shoe and taking a look at the inner size label, you can see that the placement of the label is different from retail to fake. You can see the fake one is placed slightly lower, so more of the top of the label is exposed, compared to the retail one where you can see the US 10, the size label, and the Jordan logo is slightly cut off with the material above. So it's just slight differences like that that you have to look out for if you are trying to authenticate your pair. But now we'll take a look inside the shoe. So unlike the first Jordan 1 Lost and Founds that I reviewed, they do actually come double lace with the two laces in. So the fake ones have got that one correct. So we'll take a look at the laces themselves. So in terms of how they're tied inside the shoe, they are tied very different. I would say the retail one is actually a lot messier than the fake one, but there is a slight difference. And in terms of color, they're actually relatively close. There's really no difference at all in terms of color, so they've got this spot on. In terms of inside the shoe and the paper, fake ones come with a little bit of shoe paper and then also a little bit more. So they come with 2 lots of shoe paper, and then the retail one obviously just comes with the one. But there is a difference in feel and look of the two, and it just looks like the fake one's just picked up some random paper and chucked it in. But this feels like normal shoe paper compared. So on the left pair, the only real difference is the actual quality of the shoe itself. I happen to get a really high quality pair. I know people got them with molds and a few issues with them, but my pair is actually superb, can't really complain at all. But the fake one, they have lots of little indents in the leather and marks, and just a little bit disappointing, but that's what you pay for, I guess. But that is something to note about the fake pair. It did come with a lot of quality issues. And the final difference between the two pairs actually occurs on the outer side on this white leather panel beneath the swoosh. Just like on the toe box, you can take a look at the cracked leather between both, and you can see clear differences in the quality of the cracked leather and the difference in material and paint that they've used. So you can see there are far more cracks on the retail one compared to the fake one, and it just gives off that more vintage vibe that I think they were going for, and the fakes are just struggling to replicate. But that is the end of the comparison. I hope this has helped you if you are trying to purchase a retail pair, because fakes are getting incredibly close. But please like and subscribe, does help the channel grow, helps me do more videos just like this to help you, and thank you very much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day.